Peace, you already know who it is. I'm on Renew 93 from asharenew.com. We back in here for another Q&A. Peace, back from hiatus. What's going on? So today I want to speak on it being the 11th week of the year. All right? Yeah, good morning, good morning. No sleep. No sleep. You know what I mean? So since the last time you guys saw me, I've been up the whole time. Just been vamping, just on my vampire mode. But let's get into it. We're in the 11th week. And yeah, I know, did a 5-hour live stream. Right back at it, no sleep. Because it's just, I feel in charge. In charge? I said that crazy. I don't even know what I was trying to say with that. It's like I said 2 words at once. Yeah, it is what it is. The stream was crazy. I try to make history. I try to make history. That's what I strive to do that. I strive to get better, to get better at my techniques, to get better at my delivery, to get better at my consistency. So that's what I'm striving to do, Well, let's go into it. The 11th week of the year. Let's take it to the tarot, right? So we'll start with the tarot, then we'll begin to build up blocks. Info was glitched out and certain information wasn't getting out. Well, yeah, you know. I was going in. I admit, the point where they had to shut it down. I don't even know if I ended it. I think I just had to shut it down. It was too much going on. But that's what happens, when you speak the real, peace, experimental. That's what happens when you speak the truth. But the phone is kind of glitching now. I think it's kind of glitching, but it is what it is, Because what I'll do, they can fuck with the live stream, but they can't fuck with pre-recordeds, right? So I think this just happens when I go live, right? So this is extra stuff. So I may need to do pre-recorded videos because that way you don't have to worry about no lag. You don't have to worry about no glitch. I even did a whole nother live stream. I did a whole nother live stream after that 5-hour live stream that still hasn't even been put up. So it's just things like that. I did a whole 45-minute video and it's still not up. And I did that like 8 hours ago. And it's still uploading type shit. So yeah, it'd be little stupid ass shit that I have to endure. So it's just forcing me to I have to do pre-recordeds, So I'm just gonna do less lives because I don't want my content to be affected. I've been in the same spot. I'm not moving around. I'm literally right in front of a window. My bars are fine. So there should be absolutely no reason that we glitched. But you see, it was all types of glitches going on, but it's based off of what's coming out of my mouth. So obviously it was things that would come out of my mouth that they, probably was inappropriate. It is what it is. So, but they can't stop the pre-record. So if it's too much, if it gets too glitchy here, then I just have to shut down the live streams because it kills the experience. If it's glitchy, you can't even hear what I'm saying, so it'll kill the experience. A book of rhymes. I have a question. What are the grays and why do they take people? It all depends on what you think. Some people think there's aliens kidnapping and abducting people, And it's definitely not limited to the grays. So let's just entertain it, right? So I'm not just gonna shut it down. Let's just entertain it. For one, the grays are not the only ones kidnapping people. It's not just the grays. What you must understand is gray. What does the color gray represent? You just have well, all we have to do is take it to the basics. What does the color gray represent? Well, we understand that gray takes us to gray matter, right? Gray takes us to gray matter. Okay? So the grays is a metaphor for the gray matter in your brain. We have gray matter in our brain, especially by the pineal gland. Well, I guess this is probably the pituitary. The pineal gland is probably like right here. However it is, it's gray matter inside of the brain. So when the grays kidnap people, that's a metaphor of the gray matter around your pineal gland being activated. That's all it is. Do I believe there is, but I can't say that because I know where it came from. See, that's the thing. I know where it came from. All these aliens, these big-headed aliens, it came from Aleister Crowley. And see, this is why they my shit be glitching, because I just be telling the truth, really. They're the alien shit that is AWAS. Type in AWAS and type in alien, and you're gonna see a big-headed being. So that alien shit, that's Crowley. That's AWAS. Just like Crowley invented this. People think this means peace. This does not mean peace. This means peace. But this means victory. This comes again. I can go through that whole thing. Aliens or big-headed aliens specifically from Aleister Crowley. AWAS gave Aleister Crowley the Book of Law. Crowley and his lady, yes. Yes, his Scarlet Woman at the time, she heard Haru when they were in Cairo. Are you familiar with cymatics? Yes, I am familiar with cymatics. Based on what Hertz produces shapes, cymatics, right? So depending on what Hertz that are vibrating, or what Hertz, it creates a certain shape. 55 Hertz creates a shape, 152 Hertz creates a shape, so every Hertz has a shape attached to it, or every sound has a shape. So that's basically cymatics. The sounds or the shapes that sounds produce, the sacred geometry that sounds produce, or Hertz in this case. Essentially, just to briefly break it down. So you came across the grays, dreams. So this is what I mean. Do you think the grays would have came to you if you had a different belief in aliens? It's just little things to consider. Would the grays have came to you if you didn't know what the grays were? If you had no idea about aliens and what grays are, do you think they would have came to you? Or is it the fact that, oh, I know exactly what this is. These are the grays, aliens. These are big-headed, small gray aliens, and I know what their name is. They're grays, and they have a certain agenda, and they're abducting people. I'm sure all that was already in your mind before the experience even happened. Bro, when you were uploading the binaural beats, it was pretty intense. It helped me with meditation. Yeah, I can actually still do that. I wasn't sure how people felt about it. Again, I be trying to, experiment with different types of content. But if it ain't really getting a viewership, then I don't really continue doing it. Cause yeah, I can produce binaural beats. I can produce ASMR. But like when I start doing other stuff, it don't really get the viewership. So I just feel like people just want to hear me talk, even though I can do a lot of different stuff. Or maybe I just need to do it on a different channel. Maybe I need to put on a different channel. But yes, I'm capable of doing all these things because my channel was started off with binaural beats. My first 10 videos were binaural beats before I was even speaking about anything. So I have that knowledge still within me. So I can still make that happen. It's just more so. I'm not going to put it out if people are not interested in seeing that type of content from me, because people, they get used to seeing a certain type of content from a creator. So, yeah, if I put out something new, or again, whether I'm putting out my music or ASMR, binaural beats, or even when I was doing the daily predictions, which I just recently stopped doing. I did the daily predictions for like 40, 50 days straight. And the views just went down. So I'm like, what am I doing it for? Like I did it 40 to 50 days straight. Y'all saw I upload every single day for 50 days. But the views kept going down. So I'm like, why do it? Right? So I can do a lot more different things, but people just want to see a certain type of imagery. So who am I to deny it? But let's get to the 11th week. If we deal with the 11th tarot, or the 11th major trump from the major arcana. This is the energy of, well, depending on what tarot deck you have, because it's different for each tarot deck, right? Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. I have the tarot deck right here. In traditional decks, the 11th card, I believe, would be lust. But in this deck, it's 8. Again, this deck is unlike any other tarot deck. And this is just a small example of what I'm talking about. So let me pull out the 11th major arcana card so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. Okay. So the 11th card is lust. This way, lust. So this is 11. See, X1, right? That says X1. In traditional tarot decks, the 11th card is justice, right? So in this particular deck, the Thoth deck, the 8th and the 11th degree are switched. So in traditional tarot decks, the 11th degree will be justice. But in this case, it is lust because they have been switched. We don't have to go into the reasons why, but just to let you know. So if you have a different tarot deck, this probably would not be your 11th degree, but in this particular deck, it is. So this whole week, the 11th week, we're dealing with the energy of lust. Now, let's define lust, before we assume what we think it is, right? Let's talk about what it really is. Let me actually break it down. I got a piece of paper right in front of me, so let me actually break it down in real time so we can give a live example here. So if you were to reduce lust to a single digit, you would get 2, 3, 3, 6. You will get 9, the number 9, which corresponds to the planet Mars. Okay? The planet Mars represents the focus masculine principle. I appreciate that, Matrix Unplugged. Focus masculine principle. Okay? The 9 is also the ninth. The ninth sephira on the tree of life is Yesod, which corresponds to the moon, right? So we just said the moon. So the 9 takes us to Mars via numerology. It takes us to the moon via Kabbalah. All right. What else is 9? I'll give you guys a second. What else? Okay. So, moving forward, the 9 also represents completion. All right? So it also represents completion and endings. So the number 9 represents completion and it also represents endings. Then, if we take it to the tarot card that corresponds to Mars is the Tower. So it takes us to the Tower. So the 9 took us to Yesod via the Tree of Life. It took us to the 9 via numerology. which is completion, and it also represents endings. It also represents birth, right? And it also took us to the tower, the tarot card, the tower, which is symbolized as a mouth, right? The mouth. Which we see here. See that mouth. So there's a tower, it's a mouth, okay? All see the eye of Haru, the mouth of disc, right? Okay. So, from lust, we have 3 additional attributes, which helps us to define what exactly lust is. So lust, once again, take us to the number 9, which takes us to Mars. It also takes us to the moon, and it takes us to the tower, which is symbolized as a mouth. So what happens when we piece all these things together? Again, I'm just showing you how to come to conclusions without cracking open a dictionary or an encyclopedia. You can just utilize the occult and then arrive at new conclusions, right? Okay? That you wouldn't have got from a dictionary or anyone else, all right? Okay. So to understand lust, we're looking up the energy of the moon, the energy of Mars, number 9, and the tower. The moon, as we know, represents the subconscious mind. The moon is the subconscious. Mars represents your vitality or your energy. The 9, of course, is completion or birth. And then the tower represents the mouth. So when we put all this together, we have subconscious energy born through the mouth. Subconscious energy born or made manifest through the mouth. So what does that mean? Subconscious energy made manifest through the mouth, right? It's like speaking in the heat of passion, right? Speaking when you're upset, speaking when you're angry. So when it comes to lust, it's telling us, watch your tongue. Watch the words that escape your mouth this entire week. For the 11th week, because we're dealing with lust, control your tongue. That's what the tower is telling us. Because your words will manifest. Your subconscious mind will manifest itself through your words and your reactions, because the subconscious mind also represents how we react to things. So your reactions will be supercharged in this week. So it will be amplified. So something that, you probably would have let go, you would have shoved off, now it's going to really, get you upset this particular week, because we're in the week of lust. Because lust takes us to the Hebrew letter teth, which is symbolized as a serpent. So we are in the week of the serpent, because that is the energy of lust or the energy of teth. And we know the serpent represents wisdom. And we also know the serpent represents the ability to rise up the Kundalini. The Kundalini is symbolized as a snake. So the serpent takes us to Kundalini. It also takes us to wisdom. And what else does the snake represent? Or not the snake, the serpent. The serpent also deals with poison. All right, poison. So the serpent gives us the attributes of wisdom, Kundalini, and poison. The Kundalini means rising up the energy up through the chakras or down. Either you're starting from the bottom or you're starting at the top. Either you're starting at the top going down or you're starting at the bottom going up. Okay? So the Kundalini represents the chakra system. Okay? So the Kundalini travels up the chakra system. All right? Chakra system. Wisdom, you can say, is, if we just wanted to define it, Exactly, crown down. You already know. Yeah, crown down. Start from the crown down. Exactly. Yeah, for those who know. You see, I'm not gonna reveal everything. Those who know, you already know, right? So that's the benefit of being around for a while. So you already know what the deal is. So even if I kind of halfway talk about something, you can fill in the blanks. Supreme alchemy will use poison to find a cure. So that's exactly right. That's exactly what the poison represents with the serpent. It is a medicine. Poison being used as a medicine. So you're absolutely right. So let's write that down. So the poison represents the medicine. The Kundalini represents the chakra system. And the wisdom, you can say wisdom comes from, you can say wisdom is extraterrestrial. I guess that'll make sense. Wisdom is extraterrestrial. What do I mean? Because wisdom doesn't come from humans. Wisdom comes from spirit, right? Spirit that is outside of the earth. What do I mean? Well, when we think about all the occult concepts, whether it's astrology is extraterrestrial energies, right? Astrology is a tool to make a person wise. Numerology is a tool to make a person wise. All numerology can be correlated to planets, right? Numerology can be correlated to planets, right? So wisdom essentially is going back in the past because the moon correlates to the past, right? Being able to use the past constructively. So that's what it means to be wise. When you actually study your ancestors, you study your own life, and you study other people's lives, and you become wise based off of what they did, what they didn't do, the mistakes they made, and the mistakes they didn't make. So you can become wise, like reading the Bible, reading the Quran, reading works and reading life stories about people who have already done what you plan to do, or who already been through what you will go through, right? So you can become wise by tapping into other people's energy, or just tapping into the energy of the stars. So you can tap into the people, the wisdom of the people, or the wisdom of the stars. It's all wisdom. Is just depend on what type of person you are. So we just say wisdom comes from spirit, right? So whenever we're talking about wisdom, we're talking about spirit or intelligence, spirit intelligence. We'll say that wisdom is spirit intelligence, meaning it's timeless. Because when someone is wise, it's not about, it's timeless. It doesn't necessarily apply to a certain time span. It's infinite, right? Like a person possessing character is an attribute you can have. It don't matter if it's the year 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000. It's just certain attributes you can have, and it would make you better off. It don't matter what year it's in or what time span. Okay, so we'll just say wisdom is spirit intelligence. Okay, spirit intelligence. And I'm writing everything down so that I can keep track, so I'm not bouncing around too much, right? So I can keep everything concise. Okay. So lust takes us to the moon, takes us to Mars, takes us to the number nine also takes us to the tower. So this represents subconscious energy made manifest through the mouth. Okay, so be very conscious of your tongue, but it works both ways. So be careful about what comes out of your mouth, but also utilize it to your advantage. Right? So this is it. So for example, that'd be like charm, right? The mouth can also be used to charm. So the mouth can be used to destroy, which is like the tower energy, but the tower also represents rebirth. So utilizing your mouth or your tongue to give life where there was no life. So you can also give life and also take it away. Okay? It's dualistic. So subconscious energy may manifest through the mouth. So that will be lust. Being able to turn a person on or being able to turn a person off. If you say the wrong thing, so you can turn the person on saying the right thing, or you can turn a person off saying the wrong thing. So it's just about making a conscious decision to say the right things, which is how you build charm. Being able to say the right thing at the right time, right? So that's part of charm. Okay? Let's turn that back on. So we understood that the poison represents medicine. So that means using the negative forces of reality to heal. So this is not talking about healing with the traditional arts. This is healing through poison. Using poison to heal yourself, which is what an elixir, to create an elixir that heals you. For me, that elixir is urine therapy. Everybody's not drinking their own urine, understood. But for me, That's what that, to me, that's poison. Why? Because most people look at their urine as poison. If you drink your urine, you're just putting toxins in your body. That's what most people believe. If you drink urine, because if it's coming out of you, that means it should not be in you. This is how most people think, and it's probably because this is the way we were taught, even though that's not true. And I know this for myself because I've drunk my own urine, or I drank my own urine if I want to be proper. I did it myself, and the more I drink, the purer it gets. So if I was really harming myself because there's so many toxins in the urine, why every time I drink it, I'm looping? Every time I pee, I'm drinking pee. All right. Why is it getting purer? If I'm putting more toxins in my body, why does it get purer, to the point where it's no taste, no smell? Right? Why but it's supposed to be poison, right? It's supposed to harm you. Right? So I just know that for a fact that that's just not the case. It can be considered a poison, but it's not a poison that harms. It's a poison that actually cures you, right? But there's several research. So I'm not speaking about nothing that ain't research. People been doing urine therapy since India. It was called Shiva Bu, right? So this is an ancient art. This ain't something that just popped up in the 20th century or the 21st century. It goes all the way back to India. It's called Shiva Bu. So this is an ancient art, right? Okay. So we have urine therapy as the poison. We have the Kundalini, which represents the chakra system, which we now know, crown down. So start at the crown, work your way down. So urine therapy, crown down, working your way from the crown to the base. And then wisdom represents spirit intelligence. And the spirit intelligence is just working with spirits. But what type of spirits? Spirits of lust. Because we're dealing with the energy of lust. Right? Lust spirits. Work with spirits like this. Working with lust spirits. So for this week, work with the lust spirits. What is an example of a lust spirit? Babylon. That's the energy that's depicted on this card. This is depicting Babylon. So does urine therapy have immediate results? Exactly, yeah. But you got to drink the first urine in the morning. So when you wake up in the morning or at night, whenever you wake up, that first, when you usually will wake up, to urinate, to relieve yourself. If you want to be proper, don't drink the first part or the last part. If you want to be technical, right? So if you decide to do this, make sure you pee a little bit into the toilet or cup, whatever. Pee a little bit, then gather the middle portion. So pretty much only drink the middle portion, right? So because if there is any toxins, it's going to come out in that first stream, right? So you stream a little bit and gather the middle portion. So not the beginning, not the end. Gather the middle portion, right? So if you're going to drink it, make sure you're drinking the middle portion. But yeah, so if you drink the first time you wake up in the morning, instead of urinating into the toilet, you urinate into a cup or whatever your drinking utensil is, and you're going to immediately get a charge after you drink it. Right? It just is what it is. It just is what it is. Again, I know it works because I did it. So I'm not telling you something that somebody else told me. I've shown and proved this to myself. Okay? So, this is the energy of lust. Work with lust spirits because they have the spirit intelligence that you need this particular week. So the spirit intelligence that we need, the energy from the spirit that we need, will come from the lust spirits. Okay? Work from the crown down. 2. Okay? And the subconscious energy will be made manifest through the mouth. Use your charm and watch your tongue. Be charming and be sure to watch your tongue, right? Because, so just as easy as we can get upset during this week, we can get easily upset. So if somebody's trying to upset you, don't allow them to happen. Like, damn, why am I getting upset about small shit or some shit that's really getting you upset? Just shove it off. Don't feed into that. And also don't be the reason why someone else may trip out. And if you do say something that a person don't like, be sure to immediately apologize because like, okay, people are kind of real springy right now. You know, they may take something a little further than it should be taken. So, you know, be the first to apologize, but also utilize charm. So be as charming as you can so that you won't say anything to offend anybody anyway. So you do that with charm. Okay? And this is from the energy of lust because we are going through the 11th week. So I'm just utilizing astrology, numerology, and all these occult things to come to conclusions. And you see, we didn't have to whip out a dictionary. We didn't have to whip out an encyclopedia. We don't have to do anything. We're just simply utilizing the art of correspondence. That's it. And coming to original conclusions that you wouldn't have arrived at just looking up the definition. Because we can look up the definition, but it's not going to tell you anything that I just revealed. Okay? So this is what the occult does for us. This is how we're supposed to use it. Utilize mathematics and expand your consciousness through proper timing. Expand your consciousness through proper timing. And this is what we do when we keep track of the week, when we keep track of the day, when we keep track of the month, the year. It's just all about timing, the seasons, the cycles. So the more in tune you are with the cycles, the more you know what to do, what not to do. And again, combine this with your natal chart, progress chart, transits, you know, whatever spiritual system that you use, whatever form of divination you use, utilize it to the best of your ability and become the master seer. Because this is the master number 11. So this is the 11th week. The 11th week is the master number 11, which represents the master seer. So to develop your seership, develop your second sight, which I spoke about in a previous video last night that is yet to be uploaded on the channel. I don't know when it's going to be uploaded, but again, I'm going to do my best to alleviate, you know, all this harshness. So I'm just going to do pre-recorded. So we don't have to worry about, you know, I do a video, it's not available for another 8 hours. All this is connected to live streaming, right? So they're just giving me trouble through live streaming. I'm not getting any trouble when I do anything else. So it's just simply just live stream. So if I got to shut it down, then I'll shut it down. But with that, again, we're going to make this quick. I'm not going to be on here too long. I just want to give you all the quick example of what's going on right now. I will be doing more videos later today. You know, I gotta do videos for all these platforms. You know, so I'm pretty much trying to provide original content for every platform. So instead of just uploading universal content, it's like, so I'm just trying to put out original content for each different platform, so you will see a different aspect. So I'm just moving around, doing what I'm doing, just trying to stay busy, stay active. You know, just being on top of the game, right? So with that, definitely like, comment, subscribe. If you find this useful, I will be coming back. I will do my best to be consistent and daily, and at least showing my face. You know, because I can do daily content, but at least show my face, or even see, I'm just in a blanket, whatever. You know what I mean? We don't have to do nothing fancy. All right, so I'll at least show my face, you know, so everybody can feel the energy, feel the spirit, get the charge, and do what they need to do to be successful and live a fulfilling life, right? A little light, a little dark, right? So with that, I bear peace. Stay tuned for next time.